Excited for another college basketball season. Looking forward to hopefully the next time I'm in this building that I'm actually coaching my team in the conference championships this year, as opposed to working as kind of a partner with you guys in the media. But I'm excited about this group. We've got some experience, probably the most experienced team that I've had since my first year. We only have one freshman and several guys who've been in our program for multiple years. The guys have worked really, really hard, like all these teams, and obviously we're just chomping at the bit to start competing.
Okay, you remember we've got handheld microphones available for you with your questions. Remember to give us your name and your affiliation. If you raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Got one here on the second row. To your left, Coach.
Matthew Postins, Heartland College Sports. Can you talk a little bit about Moussa's development this offseason as an offensive player? Obviously, defensively, he's terrific, but I would assume you'd want him to take an offensive leap this year.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Matthew. We've been really, really pleased with Moussa's development overall. He came in as a really kind of raw athlete. Always was pretty good in terms of instinctively blocking shots, and that's what he brings to the table from a defensive standpoint. But we knew offensively, there was some areas he could immediately become better at with some time and intention. And so we really focused on just his touch around the basket. We want to raise his field goal shooting percentage on non-dunking shots. And obviously his free throw percentage is an area of improvement as well that we were very intentional about focusing on. We feel like if we can make some steps in terms of being able to throw it in there, every 4 or 5 possessions and getting a positive result, it'll make the game easier for the guys he's on the court with, like Avery Anderson and Bryce Thompson and Caleb Boone even. And we've looked at some lineups with the two of them playing together, which we didn't do very much of last year, understanding that they can be, obviously really, really impactful defensively because, Caleb at one point led the league in block shots until Moussa became his teammate. And so you got two really good defensive players who now can play together on the offensive end, which will make us a little bit more dynamic than we've been in terms of really, really having to rely on a ton of three-point shooting. But again, if Moussa gets better like we expect him to and his numbers from an efficiency standpoint on the offensive end improve, that'll make us more dangerous with the guys who attack from the perimeter and guys like Avery and Bryce and even our 2 transfers, John Michael Wright and Caleb Asbury. So he's worked really hard on his touch, probably to about 15 feet. Still don't know if we'll see him shoot a bunch of jump shots, but definitely you'll see him probably working the more jump hooks and turnaround jumpers from about 8 feet in.
Coach, you have another question over here to your left.
Sam Lance with Zags blog and Adam Zagoria. Obviously, the transfer portal has been around for a couple off seasons now. What are just your thoughts on how it has functioned to this point, and what's your opinion on players transferring within the same conference? I think it was 6 people who went from one Big 12 school to another this offseason.
Yeah, Sam, thanks for the question. I don't know if I have a thought on general where transfer it is. I'm kind of a guy that, this is what it is, right? It's not changing. It's not like we're going to go back to making guys sit out. I even think the whole idea of not having to sit out after one-time transfer doesn't have a whole lot of teeth. We see appeals and waivers get approved every year at a growing rapid rate. And so, we got to deal in reality. Kids have more opportunities to kind of seek what they feel like is something better for them. I don't know if it's necessarily always actually better for them, not in terms of just their basketball, but in terms of their education, in terms of their development as a person, sometimes having to fight through something that maybe is difficult. I lived through that myself. I'm thankful that the transfer portal didn't exist in 2001 when Eddie Fogler retired. After my freshman year in college, and Dave Odom replaced him as the coach of South Carolina, because honestly, at 19 years old, I probably would have transferred also. But the thought of having to sit out was enough of a deterrent to give me an opportunity to really grow through that moment. And because of that, in large part, I'm here today because having to go through those experiences and growing. But I know it's a different time. We have transfers ourselves, so I don't want to sit up here and be hypocritical. But we've tried to be very intentional about the type of kids we bring into our program and helping them understand what our program is about and why they can have success and why our program will have success with them. And so, I try not to speak in too much kind of big picture generalities because no one really cares what I think, and really try to focus on how whatever the rules are impact our program day to day.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.